And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Daniel Duncan Show. Um,
What's up?
Yup, we're back, and we've decided to do a mock draft for this day, for today's episode. We'd been toying with the idea for the past week, doing a lot of different mock drafts, and over the course of free agency, a lot of things have changed. And so, this is, as of 3 days into free agency, what we think the draft will look like. And we're going to swap picks. I'm going to do the odd picks. Dan will do the evens.
Let's
And
go.
yeah, so let's jump into it. Dan, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to roll.
All righty, let's start the draft. Okay, so I
Let's go.
have the
Let's
first pick,
go.
and right now it's very easy what Chicago is going to do with this pick. It'll be Caleb Williams. Pretty crazy how many teams right now, Dan, are going to veteran backup quarterbacks, giving them, you know,
Yeah.
7 to 10 million, and Justin Fields has no trade market. So, it seems like it's Williams, right?
Yeah, it's definitely Williams. He's the slam dunk number one pick.
Okay, well, he's off the board.
Let's go. Okay, the Commanders at number two.
Hmm.
This is definitely a quarterback, and it's a comparison between either Drake May or Jaden Daniels of LSU. They take Daniels because they need that mobility at quarterback, pocket presence, can get the ball downfield, and he's just an elusive runner. So I like Daniels at number two.
Book it. All righty. Plus, they've spent some money this offseason. Austin
Oh
Eckler brought in,
gosh,
Bobby
yeah.
Wagner brought in, Frankie Louvu,
Come on, man.
amongst other names. A lot of veterans, dude.
Oh my goodness.
So it seems as if the Eckler signing, at least, they're going to focus heavy on the run game this year.
Yeah, heavy run game. I can definitely see that happening from the Commanders' offense.
Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on. My pick. Number three, New England. They just signed Jacoby Brissett. He's back in town, Dan. But as we've talked about this week, if you're signing a veteran quarterback, that doesn't mean that they're going to be the starter.
Yeah,
I like a scenario where you bring in somebody like Drake May and he could potentially be in a kind of a Tyrod Taylor, Herbert role. Um, so yeah, who knows if he'll be the starter by by week one, but he feels like a Patriot. And I know people have been mocking them potentially going receiver.
yeah.
They didn't get Calvin Ridley. I know he was somebody they were looking at. And so definitely the value will be down the board though, but you can't pass up on May.
No, that's a good pick for New England, and they need that quarterback. And also, them getting Brissett back is going to help them develop a little bit during the training camp. So I like this pick for New England. Okay, so number four for the Cardinals. Who knows what they're going to do for QB? But I see them getting a receiver. It's going to be Marvin Harrison. They need a playmaker in that receiving core. So I'm going to go with Marvin Harrison off the board.
Yeah, like you're saying, dude. Remember they said with Josh Rosen going into that draft that he was their guy. Obviously, Kyler Murray's had a better career than Josh Rosen, but still, I feel like they should be evaluating quarterback a little bit heavier this offseason, especially since they, I don't know, I don't really think they're going to be that competitive this year.
I don't think so either. This is sort of a rebuild for them. I don't know what their defense is going to look like. So, I mean, either way, I mean, they could look at a quarterback later rounds, but I like this pick right here at number four, getting a
Totally. Totally.
playmaker at receiver.
Generational playmaker for sure.
Oh, yeah. Once in a generation.
Exactly. So we had three quarterbacks go, and then Marvin Harrison. I'm seeing LA Chargers on the board right now, and also noticing a few teams who are quarterback needy. However, this all depends on who New York Giants are looking at because, New
Yeah.
York easily, because they're only one pick ahead. Some team could jump New York to go get that quarterback, but clearly, Dan, wouldn't you say, looking at your next pick, obviously we're on the Chargers right now, but I would say
Mhm.
New York is very in need of a quarterback right now.
Yeah, they need a quarterback at that position for the Giants.
But yeah, move as we're, saying with the Chargers. Um, you know, Herbert, he needs all the protection he can get. Rashawn Slater missed a lot of time, but he is, solid as they come. So somebody on the opposite side of him. Um, let's go Joe Alt here.
Oh, great pick. Great pick. They need that protection. I like that right there. Okay, so the Giants, we already just said it just a minute ago. They need a quarterback, and I thought they were going to get Russell Wilson. I thought they were going
Mm-hmm.
to give him at least a $100 million contract max. But I mean, you take a
Yeah.
look at the money Denver's giving him.
Mm-hmm.
But they get a quarterback, and they're going to get the guy who just won the national championship out of Michigan. I
Oh
love this
boy.
dude. It's going to be JJ McCarthy.
Welcome to New York, the Big Apple, JJ McCarthy. Talk to me about this pick.
So with McCarthy here, you're getting sort of an Eli Manning type prospect here for the Giants. I love him slinging it down the field. I love his pocket mobility. And the Giants, they just need just a little bit more offensive line protection, but they'll get it. And I love this pick right here for the Giants getting McCarthy. This is what they need right here.
I totally agree, dude. Especially since a few questionable moves this offseason couldn't keep Saquon Barkley in town. But they invested in their offensive line. Um, and so yeah, I think, their defense right now going and getting Brian Burns, their defense is set up for the next few years, but it's that
Yeah.
quarterback spot. And so I think the Giants, they might be in the trend of a rebuild, but getting a young guy, 21 years old, JJ McCarthy. And I like that comparison you made, Eli Manning. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but his decision making, his ability to stay strong in the pocket. Yeah, I like that pick a lot.
He reminds me of Eli Manning when he was at Ole Miss. And then there's a little bit of Aaron Murray from his like 2011, 2012,
Hmm.
combined with a little bit of Nick Marshall when he was at Auburn, because he's got that pocket presence.
Hmm. Absolutely. Okay. Um, so here we have the Tennessee Titans on the board, and they just today paid Calvin Ridley upwards of what, close to
I
100
saw that.
million.
It was
Close.
close.
And I think his contract is almost like it might even be more expensive than AJ Brown. So, but Calvin, no, not to discredit, he's an amazing receiver. He just came into the league really old, and so he's like 30. And so
Yeah.
Um, you know, but again, I know we talked about them potentially going receiver in the past, but now that seems to be off the table. However, I don't think somebody like Malik Neighbors is worth falling this late. So, I'm gonna do a two-person swap right here. I'm gonna trade this to Chicago. Sweet. All right, yeah. I just think, they let Mooney walk and this receiver class is so deep. Why not pair up your rookie quarterback with another rookie receiver to see them grow together?
Yeah. And you get a target for Williams with this pick. So it's easy money.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Nice
Okay,
pick.
so Atlanta, we saw Kirk Cousins get signed, 4 year, $180 million contract.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah, we just saw that happen. Came out of nowhere.
I know.
I mean, he's 35 years old. He's coming off that Achilles injury from last year. Some people that I saw today were like, man, why are they getting a 35-year-old quarterback who's coming off surgery? Well, guess
Mm-hmm.
what? He can bounce off the surgery quickly. We all remember what happened with Drew Brees
Mm-hmm.
from that shoulder. So he can bounce off from an Achilles. And this is where they get a playmaker. And it's a guy that I know really well from the University of Washington, Roma Dunze. You get him that young
Whoa.
core.
Here we
Get
go.
him. Go get him.
Pick. Odunze is off the board. So we have three receivers, three quarterbacks within the top eight picks.
Oh, yeah.
Very offensive heavy. And yeah, dude, they might as well offensively load up as much as they can. Um, the defense has some question marks. So,
Big
I think,
question marks
yeah,
on the
and it's
D.
like, sure, yeah, Kirk, he only has one playoff rec win, but and again, I'm not that big a fan of that, 4-year deal, more so like a two, but um
Yeah. Yeah.
it's weird thinking about how Minnesota, knowing their window of keeping Justin Jefferson in town is so short. Why wouldn't they, just keep Kirk around? But then again, if he wanted that much money in the future, I feel like they probably wouldn't be able to afford both Kirk and Justin, shockingly.
If Minnesota doesn't draft a quarterback, I can see Jefferson being traded. I can
Yeah.
see it happening.
I totally could too, and he has every right to. That's the type of league we're in this age, if things aren't if demands aren't met, you have every right to ask for a trade. Okay, so Tennessee traded back two spots only. So obviously, they could get whatever picks, right? We were just doing a
Yeah.
third for this one, but Chicago had a lot of picks to give, so it seems like a trade that could happen. But they still go out and get I'm gonna go with Olu Fashanu from
Good.
State. Thinking about the moves, Dan, that the Titans just made, they went out and got Tony Pollard. They went out and got Calvin Ridley. Um,
Ridley.
so I just I like the direction they're going. It sucks that, Mike Vrabel's not the coach anymore. I feel like this
Yeah,
is
I wish he was there.
it's like
Yeah.
so, if they build a strong running game, not necessarily Pollard being the lead back. Um, and again, it's not a super competitive division they're in either. So the Titans could be back this year, and a pick like that, a young guy, that could be their tackle for this is a great tackle draft too. So
Oh, yeah.
mhm.
There's a lot of good ones out there. I like that pick. Okay, so the Jets at number 10. We all know that Rodgers got
Boo.
injured. Yeah, Boo is right. I'm not a huge fan of him anymore either. Um, I believe they're going to get some protection on this offensive line. It's because they need it because they got all their weapons, they got their running backs, defense. They're good. Might need maybe another safety in their defensive back core in their secondary, but I think they go with the guy out of Oregon, Ufaga, Talise.
Okay. Felice Fuaga, Oregon State Beavs.
Yeah.
Love the pick. Seriously, Rodgers, he's made of glass at this point. Also, a lot of the things he's doing outside of football right now, who knows if he's even the quarterback of the Jets week
Oh
one.
yeah.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
shock me if he's cut, dude. He's going crazy.
He's going bonkers right now.
He's trying to run for vice president or whatever.
RFK Jr.
Yeah,
I saw that.
I don't know
That's
what went wrong with him. It's but
their ownership for the Jets. Their front office
they
is
must
just
they must be
yeah,
in such they got about you in damage control right now. So,
yeah. That I could see a bunch of moves happening right now.
but yeah, love that pick too. Again, super good tackle draft. Okay. Minnesota's on the board right now. Um, and this offseason they let Daniel Hunter walk, but they signed that I forget his name, but they signed that Texans edge rusher. He had like 12 and a half sacks last year. Um, and obviously Aaron Jones. Gosh, Aaron Jones leaving to go join the
Man,
Vikings. So it's weird. You'd seemingly think they're on the course of a rebuild, but again, with a player like Justin Jefferson, I don't know if you can afford to rebuild, dude. And Sam Darnold, as much as Colin Cowherd loves him and thinks he's going to have a bounce back year or whatever, I just I don't see him being the guy. And this, he might not be worth an 11th pick in the draft, but it's a guy with a lot of experience. And I'd value the experience over a younger quarterback at this stage right now if the Vikings want to compete. So because of that, I'm gonna go Bo Nix.
bruh. Okay, I like that.
You know,
Um,
could you see him
yeah,
in purple and yellow?
I did. I saw him with a jersey on immediately, wearing those Vikings colors.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Yeah,
good pick for Minnesota.
I'd say that at least for a season keeps Justin Jefferson at least intrigued with the possibility.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I mean, they could even get his teammate from Oregon. Um, who knows? I mean, he might end up getting drafted later in the first round, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so number 12, this is Denver.
This is tough, dude.
Uh,
They didn't get
man,
they didn't get a quarterback in this in our mock draft so far.
no, they haven't. And they don't have a quarterback anymore with Russ gone.
Could you see Justin Fields being traded there?
Maybe. I could probably see him wearing some blue and green on the Seattle
True,
Seahawks.
true.
Um, but I think they go quarterback and they're gonna take Penix from Washington.
See, that's what it's all about, letting the board fall to you. And, you know, quarterbacks, as much as like we're talking about, the as a prospect rating might be, lower down the board. It's like it's the most important position. And so,
Yeah.
um, also, dude, they're in such cap hell right now.
Oh,
Uh,
horrendous.
they can't go out and get anybody. And experience from Michael Penix Jr. Peyton needs a guy. He really does. He needs to
Yep.
hit on a guy. And Penix Jr.'s got all the tools. Um, it sucks because after that Texas game, he was getting spoken of as, potential top five guy. Obviously the age and,
Five top
and
10.
the age
Yeah.
and the injury concerns, but the way the draft board's playing out and the way that the Denver Broncos have set themselves up for, I love that pick right there.
Dude, we got a lot of pass rushers still on the board here, man.
Yeah, dude, what's up with that?
Look at look
Um,
at this.
so yeah, the Raiders this offseason gave Christian Wilkins a big deal. Um,
Huge.
and so they addressed a big need right there. Um,
Yeah,
but they still need cornerbacks desperately.
desperate.
And I feel like, there's been a lot of Alabama guys to play for the Raiders, but I don't know. I think Nate Wiggins, that combine, you know,
Oh yeah.
you need
Yep.
guys who can keep up with, receivers, especially, cornerbacks being the reaction towards the receiver, the twitch, he's got it. And there might be some injury concerns, but I feel like as much as I know you've been saying, there's still edge rushers on the board, and somebody like Dallas Turner who tested so well, it just doesn't feel right that he's still on the board. But I'm gonna go Nate Wiggins here from Clemson.
He exploded on the combine, man. I saw that. I saw all of his stats and he just blew it up immediately.
Hmm.
I like that pick right there.
Hmm.
Okay, the New Orleans Saints. This is a team that refuses to rebuild.
Yeah,
They follow management's rules. They keep all their same players. I feel like I know there's a lot of pass rushers on the board. They don't need it,
no.
but I'm gonna go offensive line. I'm gonna go CJ Latham out of Alabama.
I love that pick, dude. Really good athlete. And seriously, Derek Carr, another guy. We're learning if you have an older quarterback, you need to invest in all the line help you can get, even if it's young guys who are rookies. So I love that pick. It seems like the logical spot for them. So,
Yeah.
okay.
His get up when he got off the ball was he was pretty quick. And so I like that right there for New Orleans.
Totally. I love that move. Okay. Um, Gosh, dude, this is tough. I'm thinking
Indy.
about, yeah, Indy is on the board. Oh man, Dallas Turner's falling. But I guess also, remember Nolan Smith last year had that
Yeah.
crazy. I know he was obviously way smaller than Dallas Turner, but it wouldn't shock me if he fell down the board this far. So I was thinking of a trade potentially, but also um I'm gonna go Quinion Mitchell from Toledo.
Not bad. Not
Obviously, he
bad.
got to play against Marvin Harrison. He got to play the best of the best in college, even from a small school. Tested amazingly at the combine, great size. Um, he could potentially be, top. He could be an all pro potentially one day. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that happening.
okay, moving on.
The Seattle Seahawks. And before I do their draft pick, I have to say something to
Yeah.
John Schneider. I have to say something to him. What were you thinking today? You could have easily signed Wagner for a 2 year deal, 15 million, and have 1 year be guaranteed. You needed that veteran presence in your locker room for a rookie head coach. And you decide to give him to the Commanders? I don't understand what your thinking process was, dude. You've every year you think you're going to get the best guys and you end up not doing it. He was supposed to come back and retire as a Seattle Seahawk, not walk in free agency. So John Snyder, come on, man. You could have done better today. Could have signed him for 2 years, one year guaranteed, and let him retire as a Seahawk. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, dude, especially like you said, it's like, why would he come back for this year if he wasn't to retire as a Seahawk? And so everybody rightfully mad right now, especially since, he's not that expensive of a get. And it's a position where they have like no middle linebackers right now. So they could
No,
get Patrick Queen.
they missed on
Mhm.
that opportunity yesterday. They could have signed him for a 2 year, 3 year deal, but they ended up missing on that opportunity.
And Jordan Brooks, he doesn't even make it past his rookie contract.
Oh goodness, yeah,
Like they were speaking of him as the next great Seahawk linebacker. He only gets 10 mil a year. So, I mean, he
yeah,
didn't have that great of a year last year at all, but still, it's like you need guys, and they just cut two of their starting secondary players. So, yeah, dude, where are you thinking they're going with this pick, dude? Are they
I
trading
have
back? Are they getting a guy?
I have no clue, but here's what I've been thinking lately. They need, I mean, they have so many needs. I would like to see them sign Justin Fields, maybe after the draft, if they could get him.
Hmm.
They need, oh my goodness, they need defensive help. They need secondary help. A little bit about on the back
Linebackers.
end.
No
Yeah,
linebackers. Got edge rushers, but
they have no linebackers.
They got Mafe, they got Taylor on the edges, but
I'm gonna say we're gonna trade down with Philadelphia.
yeah,
Yeah,
Seattle Seahawks trading down with the Philadelphia Eagles. So, who is this pick, Dan? Talk to me.
no brainer. It is Jackson Powers Johnson for
Okay, there we
Philadelphia.
go. There we go. They trade up, go get an interior lineman. Talk to me about this one.
This one they really needed. Jason Kelsey retired. They need someone to anchor up front, to run that freaking
Their new
Philadelphia
with
shove or whatever.
their new
Yeah,
workhorse.
yeah, whatever they call it. And they just need to, pound it up the gut. And, having a guy like him is going to help them out.
They just signed one of the biggest home run players in the league, dude, from their division rival.
Saquon,
It makes so much sense right now. Their identity needs to be running the football. Especially they need the offensive line help if the Giants, considering they just brought in Brian Burns, they're going to see the Giants 2 times a year, who, as much as who knows how good their offense is going to be, that defense is going to be amazing, at least up front. So Eagles will need all the line help they can get. Landon Dickerson's there for a while. Powers Johnson can slide to guard or whatever. So
move him
or he
over.
can stay at center. It depends where they move Dickerson. So,
Yeah,
yeah, dude, love that pick. Love Seattle trading down, considering they could use all the picks they can get. If they can get a second rounder out of that, that would be terrific.
huge. That'd be good. That'd be good for Seattle.
Okay. Okay, so the Eagles have just traded up, and there's still so many big names on the board, dude. Uh,
Huge names.
so because of that, I'm gonna have Jacksonville trade down 4 picks with the Miami Dolphins, and we're finally gonna see Dallas Turner off the board here.
I
Especially
like
since,
that.
yeah, especially since, Chubb probably out all year. Jalen Phillips, Achilles that he
Phillips.
tore earlier this year. Who knows if he'll be there by the start of the year. So you're gonna have to replace your sacks some way one.
Yeah,
And I know they just signed Jordan Brooks, but I feel like he's not necessarily that, you know, pass rushing style linebacker. So
he's not there yet. He's not ready to take on that load.
so yeah, Dallas Turner finally off the board, pick 17, dude. And now the Cincinnati Bengals, dude. It's a lot of questions here.
Cincy. Oh man, tons of questions. I mean, they got rid of Mixon and they got
Mhm.
Zach Moss. I
T.
mean,
T. Higgins might have requested a trade too.
yeah, he's on the trade block. They need offensive line. They need protection because Burrow every year. I mean, he's been 2 years out of the four he's been healthy for,
Right.
and so they need that protection. And they're going to go with Marius Mims out of Georgia, the tackle.
Sweet. Help is on the way, Joe.
It's coming.
Yeah, they've toyed around with their offensive line a lot. Why not go get the big, I think he's like 6'7", maybe 6'8", Amarius Mims.
6'8". Yeah,
So love that pick.
over 300.
Burrow, yeah, like you said, he's unfortunately spent the, almost half his career hurt. So, um, Yeah, I love that pick. It'll be interesting to see though if the T. Higgins thing, what happens there.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. LA Rams um haven't been that active this free agent window. Um they're in an interesting spot, you know.
Yeah. Interesting.
But I think the obvious need is cornerback here, and there are a lot of great cornerbacks still on the board. So let's go Terry Arnold, Alabama.
I like that.
All righty, you got next pick, Steelers.
Pittsburgh ended up getting Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
They need something big here. And I've been looking at him, and he's got great combine numbers. It's Brian Thomas out of LSU, Brian Thomas Jr. I like every year the Steelers when they get a receiver. I mean, they're big. They have
Yeah,
tremendous seasons. They end up getting 1,000 yards within 1 or 2 seasons. So I like Thomas Jr. out of LSU and having a big weapon for Russell Wilson after losing Deontay Johnson. So you fill that need quickly.
they're all of a sudden considered a sleeper team for the AFC, especially, with whatever the Bengals are doing right now. Um, and so yeah, big target, 6'4". Um,
He
Russ,
can play.
he needs the weapons. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Denver, he never had the weapon, or the weapons kind of failed him. Um, and so yeah, I love that pick, dude. Okay, Jacksonville, who traded down. I get to make their pick. And we are gonna go with bum bum bum. We're gonna go. They need cornerback badly. They really need it. And we could go Coop
Yep.
DeJean here. Coop DeJean didn't test at the combine. Um,
No.
he's still
Punt
recovering,
return record.
but he was phenomenal in college and just a standout athlete. Kool-Aid McKinstry is still on the board as well. So they have choices, but let's go Coop DeJean to Jacksonville with this pick.
Okay. All right.
All
Moment
right.
of truth here.
They traded down.
Trading trading down with Philadelphia for the 22nd pick. The Seattle Seahawks end up taking Kool-Aid McKinstry out of Alabama.
There we go.
Kool-Aid. He can team up with Witherspoon. He can be locked down. He's good at tackling right away once he gets up into the box, and he's a shutdown guy. So I like this pick for Seattle. Other needs, they'll get him later. I like this pick.
I like that pick too, especially if they can maneuver trying to maybe see how another cornerback might look at safety. Maybe McKinstry can slide down there. Um,
Yeah,
Especially nowadays, the prototypical safety is no longer a Jamal Adams type of guy. They
no.
can be undersized. So yeah, I like that pick. I think Seattle, uh, if they can build on their defense, that's what they need right now. Love it. Okay,
Defense is the core. They need that. So I like that pick.
exactly. Okay. Whew. A lot of big names on the board, dude. Still, a lot
Goodness.
of
There's some huge, huge names on this board.
yeah. So I'm seeing, Houston, they made the splash signing, just getting Danielle Hunter. Joe Mixon
Yeah,
was brought in, amongst
yeah,
others. Um, they're set for a big year this year, I think.
yeah.
And, they made the just shocking move. When does it happen where a team has first or, second pick in the draft and then they move up and get the pick right after? And so they could afford to do that considering they have this Browns pick right here. Um, and so Yeah, this could go a lot of ways, dude, but considering if they keep Danielle Hunter kind of on the edge, um I could see them going Byron Murphy here. However, I'm gonna lean towards Newton. He's a little bigger and he
Ooh,
might be a
yeah.
little bit more what they're looking for inside. So I'm gonna go Jerzon Newton.
Yeah, I've been looking at him recently on all of his bio and all of the stats that he did during the year. Yeah, he was a standout at Illinois, and Houston getting this guy, it's going to be big for him.
All
I
right, your
like that a
pick.
lot. Okay, the Dallas Cryboys, aka the Cowboys, because they
Spending
choke in
no
the
money.
playoffs.
Spending no money.
Yeah, spending zero money.
We're all in.
I'm gonna, I'm, I'm gonna, I'm gonna evaluate this one for a second because you got a lot of guys here on this board who are
Mhm.
still on the board.
Big, big tackle need for sure.
Yeah, huge need at tackle.
Could go receiver too.
Um, could go receiver. I'm I'm leaning towards the Washington, Troy. I
Troy
like him at
Fasano.
Dallas.
There
Yeah,
we go. Great pick. Yeah, Dak needs that protection. They know how to develop offensive linemen very well. Okay.
yeah. He just needs that. He needs it. He needs the
Agree.
protection.
All right. So obviously Dallas has spent no money this offseason. However, the next team, my team, who never spends money, has just dished out over 100 million of contracts the last few days. So Green Bay just paid 25 million year one for Xavier McKinney, 24-year-old safety, who best safety on the market. Giants, they had other needs. I understand them not wanting to pay him all that much, but I was
Yeah,
shocked, dude, that they went and gave that much money. But for him to be only 24 years old, his first contract, I think he'll play beyond the salary he gets right now. So, and then on the flip side, on the offensive side of things, they moved on from Aaron Jones, Dan. They went out and
moved
got
on.
Jacobs.
Yeah, that's huge. And also, you needed that from him. You needed them to go get Jacobs because he can catch the ball in the backfield. He can barrel down and get
Aaron
that
Jones,
ball easily.
I think they could do the exact same things other than Jacobs is a little bit more of a bowling ball. It's just,
Yep,
dude, so many games last year. You're as a Packer fan, you're rolling into the game and you're like, Aaron Jones questionable all until game time, and then you ask, "Oh, is Jones playing?" Nope. Oh, whoops. I guess
yep.
that would have been nice.
Questionable.
That would have been nice if he played. And so, as much as he's probably been my favorite Packer to watch the last few years, and as much as I would have liked them to keep him at least one more year, it
One more.
I understand it, and I trust Gutekunst. He's proved to be a guy that knows what he's doing. But with the pick, I think this plays out with the way that the board is playing. Um, they have a glaring need, obviously. They need another safety, or at least two, probably, maybe
Yep.
three. Maybe they go out and get somebody free agency, but um, also though, they lost John Runyon, their starting guard. Bakhtiari was
Lost him.
cut. So there's a
Bakhtiari.
lot of offensive line needs, but luckily the Packers have a lot of second, third round picks. And
Uh-huh.
so the way the board's fallen right now, I'm gonna go Jared Verse from Florida State. And
Hey,
I think,
dude,
back-to-back years taking an edge
let's
rusher,
go.
it's it's gonna be interesting. I'm not super familiar exactly with the Packers' new defensive scheme, other than the fact that they're going to a 4-3. So the more guys you can get on the line, the better. And I like I like everything about this pick. So yeah.
Dude, to be honest, that's a great pick. You're getting the best edge rusher in the draft. I saw
Hmm.
this guy play at Florida State. I saw him every time on TV, just ball out. I mean, he's a
Yeah.
great pick for Green Bay.
If he falls this far, right?
Yeah, if he ends up falling and stumbling all the way to the 20s, he could easily go to the Packers at
Hmm.
25.
Oh, sweet. I'm glad you like that pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Tampa, the Bucks, they ended up
Papa.
re-signing Baker Mayfield, 100 million.
Mm-hmm.
They kept Mike Evans. They ended up moving on from Shaq Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
Devin White's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of capital there
And they
that's,
traded and they traded what's his name to the Lions, one of their cornerbacks.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Davis,
Carlton Davis.
Carlton
Carlton
Davis.
Davis.
Yes, he's now a
Yeah.
Lion.
So I'm gonna go. Let's see here. I'm gonna look at the board for a second.
Yeah.
It's already gone. I'm gonna go Jordan Morgan from Arizona tackle.
Sweet. Book it. Jordan Morgan. Some more help for Baker. Yeah,
Yeah, more help.
they've invested a lot in their offensive line and obviously paid off last year. So I like that pick.
Yeah, they need it. Every team that I'm seeing here that lost someone or that really needs or lacking of, they just need offensive protection.
Yeah, and that might be what the next pick is too, dude. I think it was it DJ Humphrey, whoever. I think DJ
Humphrey,
Humphrey. The Cardinals just cut him. He was one of their starting tackles. Obviously, Paris Johnson, he'll be one of their starting tackles as well. But dude, they have two first rounders and a lot of big guys are on the board still. Um, this is tough, dude. This is really tough. But
yeah, this is tough.
because I mean they could go any way possible, anywhere. Um, also though, I could play it the way the board is right now, so that's honestly what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna go Byron Murphy to Arizona Cardinals.
Not bad.
You
Not
know,
bad at all.
they need the pass rush.
They need pass rush, and then they could get offensive line in later rounds.
Yeah. Could easily be
Buffalo
a
at
spot they
28.
trade out of too.
Yeah. The Bills at 28 coming up.
Mm-hmm. Gabe
Gabe
Davis
Davis is
off.
gone. Went to Jacksonville. Offensive line, skeptical, needs someone maybe.
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably get free agency or later rounds in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But I say they get a receiver, and it's going to be a Darius Mitchell out of Texas.
Here we go. AD Mitchell off the board. Yeah, dude. Very much so CD like very, very fluid movements. I mean, you got to see him quite a bit last year. Was that him in the corner of the end zone, the last play of the game?
He was in the corner of the end zone where Elijah Jackson broke that pass up. He was the
He didn't
intended
he didn't
receiver on the
he
play.
didn't really he didn't really get the best he didn't his legs weren't ready to jump. He barely
Yeah.
got to the ground. But no, I love that pick so much. So and it's like you said, Gabe Davis is gone. Might have been a little bit of an overpay. But yeah, they need it. They need it bad. So okay,
Yeah, and I
Detroit.
like Mitchell over
Yeah.
Worthy a little bit. I
Yeah.
like him a little bit over
Yeah.
Worthy.
I do too.
And so that's a big wideout and a big need for the Bills.
Hmm. Absolutely. Okay.
Detroit 29.
Detroit, yes, Detroit is on the board. And who knows what Dan Campbell could be thinking with this pick, right? They have so many. They always I feel like they no matter what they draft positional need, like no matter where they are in the board. And so it's really hard to predict what they do, right?
Yeah.
Like who thought Gibbs was, a top 10 pick last year, and then or excuse me, top 15, and then they trade up to 12, I believe. And so, who knows what they do. Um, Carlton Davis is there. I don't really know how I thought they would go get Snead, honestly, from Kansas
Yeah.
City because he's on the board. So I don't know. This is tough. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna have them take Leia to Latu from
Okay.
UCLA. Why not? He could be a big home run type prospect if he stays healthy. So I think that's probably why he's still on the board. But yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens here on this pick.
Mm-hmm.
And there's two Robinsons on the board.
Correct.
I prefer Darius over Chop.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with Darius for Baltimore.
Yeah, dude. They lost some big pieces on defense, didn't they?
Yeah, huge,
Geno
huge. Include
Stone,
Queen.
Patrick Queen. So yeah, I like that pick, dude.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay. So now we got San Francisco on the board.
Fran
Um,
Francisco.
who
Hey,
knows?
Fran,
Who knows if they'll be able to keep Chase Young? Eric Armstead's gone. I know
released.
they just traded a seventh rounder for some lineman from the Texans. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, this is an interesting one. And you know, they have two big name receivers on their team, um, who
You,
they might
Samuel.
they might not be able to afford both of them by next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like the way that they're able to get the most out of their players, a guy like Xavier Worthy, they could be able to turn into a gadget player. And so I'm gonna go Xavier Worthy here. I'm gonna say they take the bait. Not to say he's not a bad player, but they definitely make him a first round pick now. So
That's good. That's a good pick. And I like the way that you were saying, if they don't keep Ayuk for next year, they got a guy who can come in and be a key contributor and
hmm
just, come in and have a ball out type season.
hmm
Okay, so Kansas City, the Super Bowl champions, oh man, they need a receiver and they need one badly
Gosh, dude.
because
Even
I mean,
Brock Bowers is still on the board.
I know I see Bowers there, but
Could they trade out?
maybe they're going to stay at 32. They're
Okay.
going to stay at 32 and
See Bowers fall.
they are going to take my guy from Florida State, Keon Coleman.
Boom. Deep ball threat.
Yep.
Okay. Our draft is complete, dude.
Oh, let's go, man.
We have. So we didn't really know where to put Brock Bowers into this. This could have gone so many different ways, but so we had three trades in this mock draft.
Three
Um,
trades.
don't we just did the picks based off of what worked for this website. So don't be mad at us if our picks were, off. But yeah, this is what we
We're
got,
not Mel
dude.
Kiper. We're
Yeah,
not
we're
Mel
no
Kiper.
Kiper. So
We're
yeah,
the better version of Kiper.
I'd say if we were to have fit Brock Bowers in there somewhere, this mock draft would be more complete. But other than that, dude, this feels like it could happen, dude. And, with the way
Yeah,
we've seen a lot of teams in need of a quarterback go and get a veteran, it's been hard to predict, where the rookies fit in all this.
yep.
So we did what we thought would happen. And I love this, dude. This is our first, post day 3 free agency mock draft. Um,
In
and
the
yeah,
books.
any final words, Dan, before? Because obviously, we'll have future mock drafts to do and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll have future ones. I mean, you get like 24 or 26 of them for me, like in like 2 or 3 days, nonstop.
Yeah. Also,
Um,
yeah.
what the thing for me is I love the way that we went here. We looked at all the needs. Everyone who got their free agents ended up getting them. Potentially Bowers, here in this first round. I mean, either way, I mean, he could have gone to Indy, could have gone to Miami, someone
hmm
who needed a tight end.
hmm
But I mean, things are looking spectacular on this side of the board
hmm
and the way that the draft's looking for us.
Yeah. Plus, like, teams might look at what Atlanta did with, Kyle Pitts and be kind of weary of taking a first round tight end.
Yep.
They, so many tight ends last year. Last year was might have been the best tight end draft in years.
By
And all of
far,
them
yeah.
hit deeper part of the draft. And so, but obviously he's worthy of a first round pick. So yeah, eventually we'll figure out where to put him. But yeah, so we will have more content in store. We might put a little bit of a pause on football once March Madness rolls around, at least for an episode, maybe two.
Maybe
But
two.
the NFL always ropes us in, dude, and especially this off season with, players getting cut, players not re-signing. It feels like Madden right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It
The
does.
simulator from Madden.
It
It
does,
feels
dude.
like,
It feels like it's the computer running the show with
yeah.
all, every there's gonna it's gonna be crazy seeing all these new running backs in different uniforms.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, even trying to keep up. We're the better version of Mel Kiper. We take consideration into every draft pick, every need. You know, we're not making Jimmy Clausen statements.
No.
So we're good on the Kuiper watch.
Okay. So we hope you guys like our picks. That was another episode. And yeah, we will see you guys hopefully next week.
Next week, keep on going at it. Let's go.
Alrighty, see you guys.
See ya.